Welcome to It's Your Business with Tracy Ellis, brought to you by Amazing Siding and Windows. And today I have Charles D'Angelo back with me again. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Tracy. How are you?
I'm wonderful, and welcome back to the show. You know, Charles comes on once a month to talk with everyone about his goals and things that he's doing to help others in our area. He's a leading weight loss coach. You wrote a great book, which I think is helping thousands of people in our area.
Well, thank you very, very much. Yes, I've been very blessed and honored to help many, many people. Most importantly, the whole reason I come on is not so much just to talk about my goals and what I'm hoping to achieve through helping people, but more importantly, help people get ready and take the step that they need to take charge of their lives, showing them that anything's possible when they really make the decision to take responsibility for their lives.
Yes, and your book is called Think and Grow Thin, and I was excited to hear that you're working on your second book now.
Yes, now I'm working on my second book and the revised and updated copy of Think and Grow Thin. So both of those things are scheduled for release in the next couple of years. And what's really exciting is I have people every single day that email me, that call my office and tell me how they've applied what I've put in the book, the plans I've put forth in the book, and have lost remarkable amounts of weight. Just recently, a woman was featured in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Her name is Janice Skaggs. And after being diagnosed with endometrial cancer, she decided that enough was enough. She was 360 pounds roughly, and just since this past June, she's lost 175 pounds by following my plan.
Wow.
So hearing those types of stories really, really is exciting for me, and it's proof positive that when you do what you can the best way you can, God steps in and really helps you get your life where you want it to be. But you got to drop the script, that internal dialogue that you have about why you can't. And I have person after person. I just had a young man come in yesterday. He's only 18 years old. He weighs almost 300 pounds, and he hesitates when he speaks. He stutters quite a bit. He feels very, very like criticized and judged all the time, because growing up as a kid that was overweight, he was always judged. But the first thing I helped him to come to realize is that he's not that vulnerable little boy anymore. He's now becoming a man. He's someone that can make a decision, can step up, that has the resources, that has the skills to really embrace what he needs to do and take himself to where he wants to go. But you got to let go of that old identity. You've got to let go of that old script. You got to let go of that old voice. And one thing he said to me was, Charles, you know, I'd love to do that, but I hear this dialogue all the time. And you're sitting there in your car listening to this. You know, maybe you have that voice in your head that's telling you you can't do it. That's telling you you've tried everything. It's telling you that, you know, you've put yourself out there and you're a failure. Or it's the voice of maybe someone you grew up with, your mom, your dad, your friends, people that you thought would care for you, nurture you, and they did just the opposite. Maybe they didn't intend to hurt you, but it did hurt you. And so you develop this complex where you think you can never really put yourself out there and achieve what you want because you won't stop that dialogue. And so I told him something that really helped him make that shift in his head. And I said, well, whose voice is it? And he said, well, it's my friends. I said, is it really your friends? And he said, I said, really listen to it. And he said, actually, it's my voice. And I said, well, if it's your voice, why don't you just tell it to shut up? And he said, he kind of hesitated when I said that. You know, he was a shy kid, really great young man, and very bright young man. And he said, tell it to shut up. And I said, yeah, why don't you just tell yourself, shut up? And I said, say it out loud, shut up. And he said it. He said, shut up. And I said, say it again, shut up. And as he was doing this, you could see his whole posture change. All of a sudden, his shoulders, which were forward and slumped, and his voice was really kind of slow and more of a depressive type of voice, it got much faster. And he raised his shoulders back, and his chest came up, and he smiled as he said it. His whole level of confidence and enthusiasm changed because he realized he was in control of this. We're in control of what we're talking to ourselves about. We're in control of what we hear and what we allow to influence us. We've got to be much more aware of that dialogue, of that script, and we've got to start to replace it. I told him, I said, don't only tell it to shut up. I said, where is it in your head? I said, is it coming from a CD player, or an MP3 player, or what? I said, you're the one that's providing the electricity to it. You're the one that's fueling it. You see, where you focus, your energy goes to. Stop focusing on that. We get so caught up in where we're going to be or where we were that we miss the present moment. And you have to focus on where you are right now so you can then decide where do you want a chart to go? Where do you want your life to take you? How are your actions that you're taking today impacting your life? But if you're thinking about what things used to be like, or what people used to say about you, or who you've always been, or the things that were disappointments, you need to learn how to discipline those things. Use those disappointments. Don't let your past, what you call failures, take and rob you of your future. You can't let your failures rob you of your future. You need to use those failures, those things, as learning experiences. Ambitious people are people that take the things that they were disappointed by, and they say to themselves, I didn't fail, I learned something from this. That was a strategy that did not work. That was something that was not effective for me. There's a new opportunity here, and I'm going to pursue it. I'm going to really apply myself wholeheartedly until I reach my goal. And when you have that constant, never-ending sense that you're making progress, I mean, isn't that what makes you excited, is when you sense that you're making strides forward, when you see yourself growing, when you see, even though you're challenged, you move past the challenge? That's what really propels people. But we get so caught up into listening what was told to us when we don't even remember sometimes where we put our car keys, but we remember the one thing this one person said to us when we were 16 years old that we felt like crap about from then forward. Drop it. Drop the story, drop the script, and make the decision that you're not going to allow your history to stop you. You're going to use it to fuel yourself. So I told them, stop giving that energy. Stop putting yourself back there. Unplug that CD player. Push stop on that MP3 player. Whatever you need to do to stop that voice. And let's start to make yourself who you want to be. Let's man up and make ourselves the man that you're capable of being. A leader. Someone that doesn't doubt. Someone that believes in himself. Someone that's taking charge of his life. Someone that's an example to others. So that when you see those people that used to ridicule you, that used to make fun of you, when you're around your family starts to emulate your behaviors because you're so strong in your beliefs about what you're doing. Stop getting caught up in the past. Stop getting caught up in this history. That's what's draining you of your future. That's what's draining you of your gifts. And God has a plan for you. God has a destiny for you. God has a mission for you. And when you get so caught up in all that BS, all these old beliefs that were given to you by people that didn't have your best intentions at heart, you are missing out on the moment. I have young people like that are 18 years old, and then I have people that are in their 70s. Another man came to me yesterday. He's lost all of his weight. He's kept it off for over 4 or 5 years now, and he still seeks my counsel for other issues. And as we're talking, he's had a significant loss in his life. One of his dearest friends had passed away, and this was a friend he had since he was 20 years old. And it's a huge hole in his life. And he said something to me. He said, Charles, I don't know if you really understand. He said, when you get to be my age in your 70s, he said, there's more behind you than there is in front of you. And I immediately stopped him. I said, how do you really believe that's true? I said, that's an illusion, isn't it? How do you know that I have tomorrow? You're driving in your car right now. How do you know that you have tomorrow? None of us know that. It's an illusion to think that you have tomorrow. It's an illusion to think that the younger people have more than you have. It doesn't matter what your age. All you have is right now. Why don't you make your quality of life exactly the way you want it? Why do you not stop worrying about what other people have to say, the criticism, the judgment? None of that stuff matters in the bigger picture. You ask yourself, when you get concerned and stressed out about something and you're reaching for the foods that you know aren't part of your plan, you've got to stop and ask yourself, is this thing that I'm really concerned about going to matter a year from now? Is it going to matter 2 years from now? 90% of that which we worry about never ever happens. Think about it. Think back 2, 3, 4 years. Try to remember something that really you were worried about, something you were totally concerned about, and you thought that was going to end your life or that was catastrophic, was just going to really shake your whole world. And ask yourself, did it ever happen? And what's really interesting is even if it did happen, almost always, it never has that catastrophic consequence that you think it will. You see, it was a distraction. It was something that was pulling you off. You were chasing something that you need not chase. It was pulling you off of your destiny. When you're not healthy, when you don't feel good, when you feel that you're a victim, when you feel you can't control your life, that's when evil takes part in your life. That's when you start to feel you're all alone, that you don't matter, that you're not good enough. And that's not at all what God, higher power, whatever you choose to call it, wants you to believe. Because with that sense of not being enough, you don't ever accomplish anything. You are enough, and you can change so much. And what I hope that this segment does for you listening today is helps you recognize your true potential, helps you recognize that you have that spark inside of you. And all you have to do is take part in that spark by fueling it, by doing what you can. You don't have to do all sorts of crazy things. You have to do some simple things. Start to take care of your health. Start with you. You want to be a good mom. You want to be a good husband. You want to be a good wife. You want to be a good teacher. You want to be a good business leader. You need to make the decision that you're going to get your health up to its optimum. Start eating right. Start exercising. Do it consistently. You know, these illnesses that many people feel they're burdened by are going to be burdened by the rest of their life. They are totally reversible. 90% of the cases of type 2 diabetes are reversible. That means that your doctor will be able to eliminate your medications. They'll be able to get it so that you don't have to deal with the consequences like the risk of amputation, diabetic neuropathy, hypertension, cardiovascular illness, disease. All those things can be prevented and eliminated if you'll step up and learn the strategies. Look around you. There are people that are doing just what you want to do. The people that have the success, the people that look the way you want to look, that feel the way you want to feel, that have achieved all the things you want to achieve, they have a way of doing it. The only difference between you and them is the strategy. Learn the strategy. And if you don't know it, come see me or pick up my book, Think and Grow Thin. Whatever you need to do, I try to give away as much information as I humanly can. Because what I want you to recognize is you have a unique gift, and you're meant to share that. It's not the same gift I have. It's not the same gift Tracy has. It's not the same gift Tom has. It's not the same gift John has. It's your gift. And your job on this planet is to discover that and to get yourself to the place where you drop all this doubt and all this fear. Fear is the only thing that stops you. Ask yourself, why haven't you approached the person you're interested in? Why haven't you gone for really making your body the way you want it to be? Fear. Fear of failing, fear of being criticized, fear of being disappointed. And the only way to deal with that is realize we all have fear. Don't run from it. Dance with it. Make it your ally. Don't fight it. Use it. Look at the fear and face it and say, yes, I do have fear, and I'm going to make my life the way I want it to be. You're never going to escape fear. Fear is a warning system. What I'm telling you is you need not be afraid of taking charge of your life. You'll see miraculous things happen. You'll see God's work, God's hand directly in your life when you step up and do the best you can for yourself, ultimately doing the best you can for your family, for your community, for your neighborhood, for the larger society as a whole. But you have to step up. Stop with the excuses. Stop with the stories. Even if you've been abused, hurt, whatever, I understand that stuff has happened. I'm not saying it didn't hurt. All I'm saying is use it. Learn from it. Don't let it destroy you. Don't let your history stop you. Make the decision you're going to now control your future. You're going to step up. You're not the person you were when you got hurt. You're stronger for it, and you're going to make your life the way you want it to be.
Wow, that was great, Charles. And if people want to get in touch with you for help, how can they do that?
They can reach me at my website, charlesdangelo.com. They can pick up a copy of my book, Think and Grow Thin, or they can call my office at 314-495-3228. And remember, the only thing that's different between you and the person that you admire and you'd like to be like is a strategy. You can have everything that you want if you'll take part in your life and you'll start to design it and follow a consistent plan.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today. And again, if you would like more help or information on Charles D'Angelo, you can reach him at
314-495-3228.
We'll be back in a moment with It's Your Business with Tracy Ellis.